Hello everyone. So I will be talking about the other part of the file storage in the collab, which is the bucket. So as it was mentioned before, Drive is more meant for files you are working on, smaller files, while Buckets is more meant to work to be data sets, files that move less or that you need less interactivity with. So I will just first explore with you the UI of the bucket. It has, I think most of you have seen it so far, but lately there have been some few changes that you might be interested in. So for first, you can, of course, upload folders of file. You can also drag and drop files or folders to any of these locations to start the upload. So first, let's start to upload some folders. So when you upload a folder, it will just show you what you are trying to upload with a summary of what you are trying to upload. You will see it's quite convenient because once the files are uploaded, if you try to upload the same file again, you can choose if you want to force to upload things again, depending on the size or the name of the files. So if you do that, it will just override what you have been uploading before. Lately, also, we've introduced a copy functionality that allows you to copy some content, the content of another bucket. It's convenient for when you want to bootstrap a whole new bucket on a new collab. If you want to start from the data from another collab, you can do that. So for instance, here, I can just trigger a copy of that collab. And once the copy is done, you can see the content of the collab have been uploaded to that one. One interesting new feature also is a private and public toggle you can see here. So by definition, by default, sorry, all the buckets are accessible through OIDC connection, but you can allow, as an administrator of the collab, any member, any user on the internet to access the bucket of that content by triggering the public flag here. I will show you a little bit after with the API how that works. Last but not least, you can create public links of objects in the collab. So for instance, here, you can create a new public link that is copyable. So for instance, here, it will give you that URL that when you access it, will prompt you to download the files directly. So that's convenient when you want to share only some files, or for instance, a video or just a part of data set in a bucket. Now, as I mentioned before, the data proxy is designed API first. That means that it's first an API, and the UI you see here is, of course, front end, but that means that you can easily perform all those actions within using the REST API. So for instance, I have a notebook from before that will allow me to show you a little bit how that works. So the authentication works with a token. You can get one from the lab directly, or through more standard, or you can do it yourself with the IDC connection. You have to specify the proxy, the Collaboratory API, which is that URL, and then the authorization works through the authorization header that you have to specify the bearer token here. So first, what we can do is that we can get the stats of it's actually in the collab, so in the bucket, sorry. So we can see that for that collab, the bucket contains 7 objects. You can see the size of it. You can see the last time it was modified. So for instance, it's now, there is a, and then you can list the file with another endpoint. So here we can see all the file description. So now let's say that you want to work on a specific file. What we will do is that we will download the file. and then we will update it and upload a new version of it. So we selected that file. The way that the data proxy works is that you don't directly upload or download the file. What you do is that since it's based on object storage on Swift storage, you will, for a given object name, retrieve a temporary URL that will allow you to download or upload the file. So here you can see that you are asking for that file name, a temporary URL for uploading the file. So here, for downloading the file, sorry. So here you will download the file. It will be present here. It has just been downloaded. You can show the, you can see the file here. Now let's say that you just want to, it's not very important here, but do some processing of it, and then you want to upload the file again. It's the same endpoint as before, except it's a push request now. And then what you will do is just put the result, and then when you look at the stats of the bucket, you see that there is another file in it, the one that you added, that you uploaded, and then it's just some cleanup of the folder that we are working on here. So now if we go to the bucket again, you can see that that file is a new one. It's the one that has been created for the occasion. Sorry. Of course, you can access it here with a permalink also. So all this, so it's. Let me talk a little bit about the API itself. So there are several endpoints for the application itself. The first one is the buckets. It's all the endpoints that allows you to work around the content of a bucket directly. You can trigger all of them programmatically, of course. Yes, the second one is for the permalinks. It will allow you to create some permalink and to access them. This one is can be interesting for you also. It's for the human data gateway integration that provides a similar API that's the one of the bucket, but to allow you to access datasets, predicted datasets in the knowledge graph. The auth endpoint is a convenient endpoint that that provides you a token with the outside of the collab. For instance, it will give you a token with the correct OIDC roles to use the proxy. The temp URL is deprecated. As you can see, you shouldn't use it now as buckets offer the same functionality. And as I mentioned before, the public endpoint, which is interesting, provides the same functionality as the buckets endpoint, except it's not protected by OIDC. So for instance, here, if I go to data proxy, it will say that the container is not public or does not exist, and I'm not authenticated through with the token, as you can see here. But if I go to the bucket again, I set it as public. I can see the content of the bucket, and I can download URLs of the object in it, and I can work with it. So that's convenient when you want to share the bucket to a broader audience.